like to extend my welcome to Dr. Peter Asperger, chairman of Pragma, and Dr. Pramon from Thammasat University, my place of work. I have 5 topics to relate to you. On the open data is aspect of global trend, on the maturity model of e-government development in Thailand, and the open data in Asia Pacific. Got some figures and some data to share with you. And open data in Thailand, what we're doing and what we're going to do, and eventually a way forward, food for thought in the future. I start by the first table. As you can see in this table, these are top countries for e-government development index in 2015. The top of the list is the UK, ranked number 1 in 2005 and 6. Australia, Korea, Singapore, Finland, Sweden, Netherlands, New Zealand, Denmark, and France, all in Europe and some in Asia. And Thailand is ranked 37 out of 133. It's up from 102 in 2014. So it's quite good work for Thailand, jumping from 102 to 77 in a couple of years. I hope that we do more, do a better job, and bring basic, good foundation for open government and transparency in our country. The next slide. The Open Data Index ranking. As you can see, red means no and green means yes, because the logic is like that. And this is a country running down from Taiwan down to so small letter to Norway, and Thailand down the bottom. It shows you the composition of the openness of each category. First one is national statistics and government budget, legislations, procurement tenders, and election result, national map, weather forecast, pollutant emission company register, water qualities, land ownership, and government spending. So if you see green on the horizontal line, it's been quite an open country. Say Taiwan. Taiwan is very open on national statistics, government budget, legislation, and so on. Only location, database, and water quality, and lastly on government spending is largely closed in red here. So you can see various countries has different composition of openness. Mostly they have opened something about the election result, the procurement tender, legislation, government budget. Look at Thailand. I think there is some mistake here. Thailand is green under national statistics and government budget legislation. Blue means in doubt. It means they're not sure whether it's green or red. But one thing that I dispute is on the land ownership. In Thailand now, the land ownership is very open. Anybody can log in and see the value and the location of your land plot. It's open to anybody. It's very open. So I think possibly this is a mistake or a little bit too early for our accomplishment. So I hope next year could be better. Thailand is ranked 42 out of 122, up from 59 in 2014. This is the open data ranking. Next, I'd like to mention a little bit on a principle. A in 2007, there are 30 groups of concerned digital scientists on open data. They gather at a small town called Sebastopol in California. And they jointly declare a principle of open data as follows. The first one is complete. The data has to be complete. The government shouldn't omit any part of the data. Secondly, it should be primary, not already analyzed. Raw data have to be given to interested parties. Thirdly, it has to be timely and is equally accessible by everyone. And machine processable. Data are not to be given in form of questionnaire in boxes, 20 boxes, 30 boxes given to the public. No. It has to be machine processable. It means could be processable by digital process. And has to be non-discriminatory. That means could be equally assessed by everyone, not to a certain group. And 7 is non-proprietary. That isn't owned by anyone. Everybody share raw data. And lastly, it has to be free. So these are 8 principles for open data. And as we all know, these data are very important because transparency is part of good governance. If you have to, if you want to have a good country and good society, transparency is one very essential aspect of the way one should run the country. So open data doesn't mean only open. It has to comprise of the 8 following principles to be sure that it's truly open data. If some government agency open data but in a form that could be machine processable and you have to pay something, that's not open data, only under these 8 principles. Now, this is a kind of model, maturity model for Thailand, what we have done for the last 10 years. Starting from the year 2000 when we start from online services with multiple websites for the public to use. 5 years after that, we have what we call joint of government. It's a live event, it's a back office re-engineering to make it more extensive and make it more available to the public by the linking up of the services from various governments. And 5 years after that, we have what we call open government. This means transparency, participation, collaboration, and community engagement. This is what we are doing now. I think our esteemed audience are interested in big data analysis, and we all agree that big data is very important. And open big data is more important because you could have only big data and no analysts and no investigative parties. It would be only big data. It doesn't make any use to our society at all. So hackathon program that the EGA starts and several awards has been given and several training in our country to make sure that we have a good big data analysis, good data scientists who are interested in analyzing big data, find some trend, find some truth, and find some facts. And lastly, in our effort to undergo the digital transformation in this country, we want a smart government that anybody can make use of their data transformation. I think our country, Thailand, is on the verge of becoming a more and more digital society and more becoming open with respect to data. And of course, the digital transformation is underway. It's truly underway, legally and de facto, as the Prime Minister mentioned a while ago. So I think this is good news for our country. It's not, it would be fair to say that the Prime Minister himself is very interested in open data, and he's the one who is responsible for pushing several organizations to open up their data, to be linked, and big support to our organization, EGA. That's why we are in the process of transform our data that belong to several government agencies to be open to public and equal access to everybody. Now, regarding Open Data Index ranking, this is the composition of what is open for the Asia Pacific countries. As you can see, you see red everywhere, just like the Thailand set index yesterday. It's red and green only somewhere. What does it mean, this picture? It means in our Asia Pacific area, a lot of work has to be done on open data. You see red everywhere, only green in some areas. 42 is Thailand. Thailand is green in national statistics government budget, and even more, I think this one is already green, very green actually. And the last one is copper. You can see from here. The government spending, as we can see, we have a program where my tax go. I will show it to you shortly. Now, with open data, let's go along with what we call the corruption perception index. Corruption perception index is a perception, not the truth, because it's very difficult to calculate how much corruption occurring in any country, so they use the perception. And this is what we have for the perception. Starting from yellow, least corruptible, or less corruption in that country, running to the dark color here. I don't know whether I'll be killed now. This is North Korea. According to this picture, one of the most corrupted country in the survey. We start from New Zealand, Singapore, Australia, Hong Kong, and run down to Philippines, Vietnam, Timor-Leste, Laos, Myanmar, Cambodia, Afghanistan, and then last is North Korea. According to the statistic, 67% of countries score below 50 out of 100. The bigger score, less, more open, the less corruption in the country. For Asia Pacific, the average score is 43 out of 100. And 67 of all countries under survey score below 50. It's been, in general, in the whole world, we still have corruption through this statistic of the perception. Now, let's see what Thailand is doing. Now, the major achievement of Thailand is what we call data.go.th. This, under the cabinet resolution, assigned EGA to be responsible to administer open government data website. So we have a big data website. I think we have 813 data set now to be utilized. Secondly, on spending, the government pushed through the National Counter-Corruption Committee for licensing facilitation, forcing the open data of all government agencies. Moreover, they need to deliver their information on buying and tender bidding, particularly on various sectors to the public. And we are trying to improve, firstly through joining as we all know, the Open Government Partnership, which is a very important organization. It's launched in 2011. And we are in the process of applying to be a part of the OGP. I think it would be very important if we are member of the Open Government Partnership, because what we need is training and direction, and particularly new ideas on open data, particularly if you are in company, in consortium, or we would form a kind of a strong voice to push for open government in our country and other countries as well. On the open government data, what we are doing now? We are promoting a productive collaboration between government and citizens through the public hearing, identification of high-value data sets and data owners. We are in the process of filing the high-value data sets and promote more open data projects around the country. We promote the hackathon. As we all know, it sounds scary, but actually it's nothing to do with hack. But concerning with something of a booting camp, training people to be able to be a better data scientist on analyze the big data, particularly paying attention to open data. And we want to promote open data practices and guidelines to public sector, civil society, and private sector as well. Now we have 813 data sets, as I said, in data.go.th, and we hope to have more with more meaning and more interpretation to find facts and truth relying on all this data. Now, among all the data sets in Thailand, we are interested in 6 groups which are, I think, of great benefit to us. So the data community engagement, at the moment, we think there are 5 areas we are interested on: corruption, on urban development and transportation, on agriculture, on disaster risk reduction and health. These 5 groups of data sets, the first that we are interested, we want to utilize data from these data sets. Since we think we're in the stage of preparing our people who are ready to utilize our big data from this 5 sectors. And this is what we have done in the past. As you can see, some people received awards today. We have an open data international day every year, 2025, and we have an open data hackathon for domestic, not many years ago, and we have open data hackathon international, as some people received awards, and we have more in the future. We have mobile e-government awards, the COMECA, as we all know here. We have that in 3 years in a row. A competition to receive the best mobile application, e-government mobile application. And the important work that we're doing now is the project called Where Does My Tax Go? This is very important because from now on, Thai people who are taxpayers will realize and learn where their tax go. Spending on several projects, spending on construction or every program will be revealed to the public through the data.go.th, but with better readability and better accessibility. For example, for Where Does My Tax Go? This could be classified in various ways. This is about price by various classification, and this is about the aspect of project classified under various criteria. Since all the data in governmentspending.data.go.th. You can log in and utilizing some way to classify in a way that you want. But mind you, we are in early stage. More work has to be done, and improvement is truly needed to have a better readability and better accessibility. So lastly, I mentioned the way forward. What we're going to do, our food for thoughts in the future. Firstly, we have a new feature in the data going.tx phase 2. And also the application programming interface API will be available to users, which will make better utilization of the data that they already have. Secondly, we have the Thailand government spending phase 2. The collaboration with the 4 organizations, the Controller General Department, the Bureau of the Budget, Office of the Public Sector Anti-Corruption Commission, and elected government agencies. And we have a multi-mobile platform, both Android and iOS, and we have a citizen participation chart. So ladies and gentlemen, these are all the things that we try to do in the next 1 or 2 years. And lastly, for the way forward on the third point, we are promoting data community engagement continuously. We are influence open data to innovative creativities. Without creativity, we will have only data lying in our website. We need creativity and joining with other friends, particularly learning from this conference, will contribute toward the creativity and use for the people of this country and for the world as well. And we try to have what we call open data-driven startup in Thailand. Startup is a hot thing in Thailand now, since we realize that to be able to sustain economic growth, you need SME, and the typical SME as we have in this country, which is constitute about 99%. It's not enough. You need a digital aspect to add on to this SME to make our work more worth our effort. Lastly, we identify high-value data set and data models. We are not confined to only 5 data sets. We will extend to more high-value data sets, which is, we think, will be useful and be a foundation for further investigation. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is all that we try to do, and we have some data to share with you. Lastly, I have some pictures think about. I think the first picture is the words from eyesight. Imagination is more important than knowledge. And this is the imagination, my friends. Two boys using a shoe as their 4x4s or selfie. This is lovely. I think it's from somewhere in the Middle East. And the second picture, I like this lady very much. Look at her eyes. Look like he's saying, I'm cross, don't mess around with me. And then lastly, what they call non-discriminatory. No matter whether you are, what color of skin you are, you can be mother and father. Somebody that you can carry on your back. So, my friends, this kind of mix in the imagination on the discriminatory and some serious thinking and action that we need to do in the future. I thank all of you here today, particular people from other land to come to our country. So I hope you have an enjoyable stay in Thailand. If you can, please do some shopping to help our economy. And for those Thai friends, we have a lunch for you to enjoy. I hope you you will receive something worthwhile. And I am very sure that you get something back. It's worthwhile here. And you go on doing open data, because open data and transparency go together. And they are very good things for our country. Thank you very much.